Hello and welcome back to City Skylines with me, Neat, and we are back in Carnopia, our first attempt at a somewhat colour city. Obviously there are main roads connecting certain areas together because we, at the moment, not having any traffic at all is like virtually impossible, but hopefully as the game progresses it might get a bit easier, but a lot of our areas are car free. On our last episode we worked on basically finishing off a semi-realistic idea of a hospital, because the fact that this was the hospital, this tiny little building with 101 employees, was just ridiculous when you think about it, particularly a hospital that supplies a city. So we have kind of merged this whole area together so that it's a full hospital, kind of, it's its own district. In fact, that is the first thing I'm going to do, is actually make it its own district. So we're going to draw around the hospital and just follow along, and actually we are going to add in some I suppose student or accommodation for staff that, for example, might come in for short periods of time and then leave, because that's what happens, locum staff, bank staff, those sorts of things. But I think the whole area looks quite nice. In fact, it looks like a great place to work compared to the hospitals that I've worked in. There's some really nice parks, there's plenty of parking for the whole area. There should be, in fact, if we think there's 100 employees, 82 employees, 45 employees, which is just ridiculous, and 22 employees, so 200. So at maximum there's about 400 employees, probably more actually, realistically about 350, and we've got these car parks hold 60, so actually that's almost all of that would supply the whole area, and then we've got all these extra ones for everybody else. So we've got more than enough parking to supply this area, which I think is great. What I don't want is people parking on the side, so the first thing I'm going to do is just quickly say, you can't park there, silly billies. Always there's somebody trying it, isn't there? Always some crazy person that's like, no, I will always park on the roads. I don't understand why you can't just select it automatically to say we don't want anyone parking here and here, but there we go. I can't say much. It's just annoying having to always fill that in. So that's our hospital district. We also added in these fancy apartments because it has 420 households, which again, in theory, could staff the whole hospital apparently. But we know that that's a lie. That's not accurate in its representation. And then we made this kind of city-ish style, or not city-ish, almost like a village style built up development. I don't really know why I wanted to do that rather than like the normal typical city grid. I just wanted to add some, make it a bit more interesting. And then we've done this like little bit of a park area. We've added in a school, we've added in a high school with loads and loads of sports and park facilities, just to build up this area and make it a lot nicer, which I think is great. And currently our issue with rent is significantly improved, but we've got a few things to work on. So first of all, if we click on the electricity tab, we can see that our city is on the verge of having a major electrical crisis. Currently, I wanted this city to be green, so all our electricity is wind power, which means it's terrible because we know these wind turbines really are not actually efficient in any way, shape or form. They're really not the best way of bringing this in, and we can already see our battery pack over there is depleted, absolutely depleted. So what I want to do then with that in mind is work out where we want to put some kind of electrical facility and see what we can put in place. So we are a large city currently, we've got 11 points to spend, and if we go on the development points for electricity, we can see that we've got the ability to put in a solar power plant, a geothermal plant, and it's just having a think about what is energy efficient. So the geothermal plant converts underground heating and it generates some air and noise pollution. Or we've got the solar power plant, which uses batteries during the daytime so that we've got electricity at night. And the weather basically means that the output is variable, but it doesn't produce any ground or air pollution. So I'm thinking we will make a whole area with this. So we're going to purchase both of them and see what we can do. So far our industry, we've got a little pocket over here. Oh, we can see some, it's just my game glitching. So we've got a little bit of industry over here. We've got more industry up over here. And more industry back on this bit. Reason being is the wind blows out towards the sea, which means that we kind of want all our pollution pockets to kind of fit along this area really, around the edges of the island, which is a bit annoying because you also, you want nice views by positioning yourself over there. I do like the city from up above. I'm not a fan of my forestry fields, so I might change them in the future, but I like the fact that there's some grids and there's some unique shapes and then built up grid areas. Yeah, it's looking quite good. So just having a think about where we want to pop this then. We've got our rail yard over here, we've got a cargo train terminal, and we've got our main train stations. We've got 2 of them. And again, if we look at the wind, so the wind is coming out even up over here. So whether or not we use this edge over here to build a bit of a solar area, let's just have a little look at how big these things are. So the solar power, it would fit in there quite nicely, and the geothermal equally, and we've got a pocket of water there as well. So actually that is not a bad area to pop something, because we haven't really got an ability to pop anything else of real importance. So we will purchase those couple of tiles and actually link all the way up. Why not? We've got enough. We've got 51 tiles to purchase currently. It's just a nice city. I know it's a bit sparse over here, but I want to slowly merge and expand things together. That's my thought process anyway. So we are doing okay financially. Everybody is happy, apart from mail. We can sort out mail. So let's have a think about where best to position these 2 things. So the geothermal plant will pop down first. Its upkeep is 300,000 a month. So they both are 300,000 a month. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. So it's got some information to it. So the geothermal plant, I'm just seeing if it requires anything. So you can add a turbine, making it more beneficial. Don't think we need anything from a water perspective. Nuclear we're not going to do over here. Solar, it's just whether we could get like 1 or 2 next to each other, do you know what I mean? But I don't think they'll all fit together. So it might be that we just do solar over here for the time being, seeing as it is a windy area. And it's just where it needs a road actually. So does it need a road? A road is required. That's fine. But which side does the road need? That side up there. Okay. So I'm just thinking about what is going to be realistic. Maybe if we had a road in the middle, or whether we could expand some of the land out to make room for it. Because it's also a bit wonky-dory there, and I think solar panels do go on hills though, so that itself shouldn't be that big a problem, and it doesn't have any energy waste, or it shouldn't do. If we pop him down first of all and just see what he's done to the landscape. So he has kind of just plonked himself in there, which is a bit annoying. If we move you, is that a little bit more? That's less crazy to the landscape. It's just one of those things. I hate changing landscapes all the time. And if we zoom in, he's not done anything too bad, apart from being close to the sea. And then it's whether we can pop a road. I don't think we need a big road. I think we could get away with a small one. And then we've got a nice hill coming our way, haven't we? It sweeps up the hill, along the wonky dooriness, and makes its way over to the train terminal. And then we've got the issues with the electricity line. So if we have a look, I'm going to have to purchase the next plot of land, aren't I? Yes, indeed, but that's fine. We will just do that. There we go. So now we just need to connect you up. There we go. So hopefully that's going to help with our electricity. We've got one down at the moment, and actually he fits quite nicely in that area. But again, you've got to think how many members of staff work there. So we've now got 163 megawatts produced, and we're not trading really anything right now. We can look at upgrading. So we've got an advanced system. We've got a battery pack, which I think is probably worth the investment. It's just where we put it. And we've got an ability to put another one of these. So whether or not we can... Oh, you're a bloody knob, aren't you? No pedestrian access. Well, why would you let me put it there if you're being a knob? So what that does, let's just have a see if it makes a difference, apart from I've ruined it. There you go. Our electricity's gone down. Yeah, it's just thinking about where you can pop things without causing issues, but here we are. So this, what does this actually do? This extension just increases storage capacity, high voltage, a new power line to be created. Okay. And you've just connected directly? No. So whether or not we just from... Oh. And whether or not that's going to help. Apart from the fact... Ignore the pedestrian thing, I can't be arsed with that. That's annoying me. So we... because it's a rainy day, are still not producing very much. Whether or not we could squish another one in somewhere... because I'm all about green energy, and it feels weird just having one somewhere. Alright, we will make it work. So we could definitely put one on that side. Apart from the steep hill. Oh. This is typical me, just ruining things. Yep. It's quite a steep little hill there, but you know, we've got solar panels. Normally, at least where I live, the solar panels are kind of in a few places, so that's why I kind of wanted to put a couple down. So yeah, we're now producing plenty. We're not exporting any because we haven't gone outside of the map currently. Let's just have a little look. We could export some by connecting out this way. Yeah, we haven't gone to any of the edges yet. I think we'll leave it for now and not worry about exporting any right at this moment in time. But I do want to kind of slightly fix there we go. So I'm thinking, how many members of staff would work out here? 20, 40 supposedly will work out here, which is a load of rubbish. And there isn't any parking for them. So whether or not we can creep in some parking, maybe up on this bit, because that's quite flat actually. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, I'll be down in a second. Thank you. So let's just quickly pop in, you know, some parking for these guys. Oh, I probably ruined the terrain again. And I'm thinking again there's going to be more than 60 employees, let's be honest. And again, she's ruined the terrain. I say I've ruined the terrain. No, that's actually a lie. The terrain has always been against me, is what I tell myself anyway. Right. So now we've got parking for 130, yeah, more than enough employees for this whole area. I was just having a little look at solar panel farms from an aerial view, and generally they're kind of like in the middle of nowhere and just plotted around, but there's normally like a little cluster of them. So whether or not we use, because this side of the highway is almost irrelevant other than for things like farming and resources, there's a little oil thing there. Or sorry, whether or not we put, for the future at least, maybe another solar panel farm around here. The problem is it's hilly and that's going to flatten it all out. But at least then that might look a little bit more authentic and original. Yeah, because generally you'd probably have a couple of them all along in various places, you know, gridded out a little bit. But, you know, it doesn't look awful. It's just, yeah, making... It's really tricky to make stuff semi-realistic at the same time though. So, from an electricity standpoint, still says we're kind of on the back burner of it, but you know, I don't think there's much more we can do. That's recharging now, which is good. I mean, whether or not we put another battery, emergency battery station somewhere around here actually. That's the problem with a road that's not straight, but we can always slip him in, you know, around here, because I don't think we can fit another one in off of here. No, not without moving the railway, which we don't really need to do. I just thought it might look a bit prettier. I mean, we could budge the railway along one and then make it, you know, another one, but it won't curve off. So I think we'll leave that for now and maybe pop some kind of battery station down here somewhere just off the road, maybe. Shove them in there and look at that, perfectly positioned. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's what I get. Trying to make things look good and stick massive giant gaping holes in the ground, which is just what everybody aspires to achieve, I think. Right, and then we can soften the terrain around there. Ah, the never-ending battle about bleeding terrain, eh? And then we'll just soften that a little bit. There we go. And then again, we've got to link up our electricity. There we go. So we've now got 2 battery charging stations, which you probably might get a battery station near all the solar panels. Probably actually don't need all the parking. I looked and there wasn't any, but I just felt like it was so in the middle of nowhere that they needed something for the staff here. I mean, even part of me is like, oh, they might want a couple of shops just in case, but I think maybe I'm just jumping the gun a little bit with that one. It's just a shame about this electricity. Still saying, I suppose we've just hit a rainy period, haven't we? So whether or not we do look at like the geothermal plant, how big are you, geothermal? Quite big. And whether or not he could fit over on this side somewhere near the rail yard. I mean, that's not, you know, uncommon. And it does have some pollution, but again, we're not near anything, aren't we? So whether or not we like plop him down somewhere. And if we put some trees and stuff around, I think that would be fine. So the wind blows out that way. We now are producing more than enough electricity. We're not trading any, but I think that's not impossible. And obviously the rail yard isn't irrelevant. Like this plot of land, really all it's going to have is things like our resources, which it's got little pockets of resources. So yeah, not too shabby. Now, if we look at water availability, we've got the same issue, that we're kind of just about in the green. Sewage, we're okay. And if we look at our water, we've got wastewater treatment plan, which is for waste. And we've got this advanced pumping station, which we haven't got access to yet. And we can't because we need 8 development points. So for the time being, we can only have our water pumping station and our groundwater pumping station, which we haven't really utilised, but we've got a spot over here. Yeah, we'll just see how that goes anyway. It's something to bridge the gap whilst waiting for our development points. And to be honest, it now looks like there's a couple of work buildings amongst our, you know, energy hub, as it were. And then our rail yard is okay, we're not overdoing it. Our healthcare's perfect. Average health of our citizens is only 72%, which is a little bit crazy to think that it's not, the health isn't that good, but then everything's green. So there's only got 12 patients in that hospital apparently, 12 patients. Crematorium availability is just about okay, and actually we've only got 2 death care facilities in the whole area. Recycling's fine. Fireways, we probably do want a fire thing over this way, so whether or not we can sneak another one in and ruin the train again. Bloody hell, what is happening? So now we've got a little fireplace. I don't think we need the police over here. Disaster control, we don't really mind. Our crime is only 13%, which is good. If we look over here, this is where all the problems lie, all our police issues. So we'll sneak some police, a couple little police areas. Somewhere between, and we'll pop one in. This is what happens when you do a curve. It ruins it. But we popped a couple in. I know the train's not brilliant, but from afar, nobody can tell. And then if we look at our administration, so this is welfare offices and administration buildings. We've got 1 welfare office all the way over there. We've got 1 city hall, and the rest has terrible access to everything. But saying that, people are pretty okay. Your well-being's not very good for some reason, but you're all fine. Shh. We've got ongoing issues with primary schools, which is not a surprise. Everywhere I go, there's not enough primary schools. Whether or not we can pop one in somewhere, but we'll leave it for now. Transport is one of our strengths. We've got 23,000 people travelling each month, mostly via bus and train, and then trams, which is great. And then mail service. We haven't got any mail at all in this whole area, no post. And actually, if we look at our internet access, awful as well. Whether or not we can upgrade, we've got a post sorting facility, which is going to help with post. We've got 5 points less, and we've got a telecom tower. And I think this telecom tower is more important than the post sorting. Sorry, it's just the space for it. So if we go to telecommunications, I'm thinking of popping something kind of over there, if that can fit in, because that's just businessy buildings, isn't it? Because you're a bridge, that's why. What's that going to do? That's kind of made things a little bit yellow. Whether or not we can pop one up between our fields. So things are a little bit better, aren't they? We've got some kind of yellowy colours going on. So if we go to our towers, that's why we need to move you along one, get you working first. So we can we upgrade? No upgrades, okay. So we've got, it's annoying when it's just trying to, it's not bad, you know, we're semi-good. It's just whether there's space for one somewhere up here. I mean, even maybe behind the hospital, you might expect some kind of internet access behind the hospital somewhere. Let's have a little look. See, that doesn't look too abnormal by a hospital there, does it? No. So that should, yeah, massively improved it. It's all green now. Whether or not that affects the mail service, I don't think it does at all. Nope. So we haven't got the money for the mail sorting facility yet, but we've got post office availability. So we need to pop a couple of these down in a couple of places, really, don't we? Now you're on a flat bit. So you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Interesting little building. Our post offices certainly don't look like that. So that should fix quite a few problems. It's still saying unreliable mail service, but give them a minute to catch up. We don't have any issues with our parks. She says there's a few red areas, but that's where industry is. Tourism, we've got a few hot spots. Apparently our high school is a hot spot for tourism. I get the university. Outside connections, we are importing a lot of things and we're mostly exporting still. And in terms of all our area of industry, we've got a few hotspots for where the shops are. We've got a fair amount of industry dotted around. And we've got a fair bit of office space. So actually everything's going really well. In terms of the levels of our buildings, most of our buildings are, building levels are low on that one, but most of our buildings are kind of making their way up. They're yellow, there's a couple of greens, making their way up on upgrading. And land value, look at that, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad. It's interesting that the built up areas have more land value, whereas like for me, I would rather live somewhere rural if I had, you know, you just want good access to a couple of shops, a couple of pubs. If I could have a home gym, I don't, but if I could, I'd love it. Yeah. And our birth rate's exceeding our death rate. We have more people moving in than moving out, and our unemployment is 0.2%. So generally, I think most of our citizens are happy. Most of their wealth is pretty good. It could be better. Workplace availability, I mean, it's spread out quite nicely. It means where people are living, there's good jobs around. And pollution-wise, we are okay. We've got little pockets of pollution, but again, we are okay. So, with that in mind, I want to start to build up this little city space we've got here, and start again looking to upgrade ourselves towards our next milestone, which will be a huge city, which doesn't have any particular perks other than being a huge city. So what I want to do, you just get extra money. I'm just going to fill in these little bits. Oh shite, I didn't mean to do that. I need to put back in my medium density housing there. Yes, there we go. Don't do it. Oh bollocks, it's doing it again. Right. Now, let's redo what I was doing. Thank you. Please don't irritate me. We'll just go along to there with some nice shops on either side, because you kind of do expect some shops on the high street. Ooh. You alright? What's gone on there? Okay, you're fixing yourselves. Nice. And then we've got some train issues here, so whether or not we can cover that up with some nice shops. Cover that all up. And likewise, whether we want many shops there, but you know, we'll just see. We'll see if anything useful grows in. If not, we'll leave that bare for, you know, trees and things like that, which might end up looking better, but we'll just have it for now and see how that grows in. If anything useful comes of it. It might not. It might not. So we've also popped in some areas for a few little high rises and low residential housing. A couple little pockets of it anyway, because this is where some students are going to live. You know, we're going to have a nice mixture. And we'll see again how, if it grows in quite nicely. If it doesn't look very good, we'll flatten all of that out. And as you can see, we popped in a couple of high rises in this whole development, just to kind of add a bit of, texture. We'll probably end up popping some more trees in, but for now, that's how that's looking. What I wanted to do is have a little look at our special buildings, for which we've got a few industrial special buildings. We've got fuel production, we've got pharmaceuticals, we've got some more fuel-based ones. Villa City, we've got a couple of industrial ones, but that's about it at the moment. This bit over here is our commercial hub, as it were, and our bit of our centre. In fact, I don't think we've districted this bit, so we'll come on out. There we go. That'll do, that'll do. So this is kind of our centre area, and we've got a shopping bit. We did have you. What do you look like? Oh, I remember. You're tiny. You're a cute little... Oh, look how cute it is. Right, you're going where the students are. There you go. You can sit there. Look at that. Right where the students want to go. Funny. Oh, I like this bit over here. It's very nice. That was back when I could use mods and do tree line tools. I'm aware our university looks a bit sparse at the moment, but we're doing it in stages. One for money and two for everything else. Oh, look at our income go. Absolutely booming, and we're not producing anything right now. So we want this area to start to look a little bit more big city-ish than small town-ish. And the answer to do that is to start dotting in some taller buildings, but nothing too crazy. So this is kind of a pedestrian centre. We will link that up straight down. just see how that kind of grows in there. And then we've got this outer ridge, which again, we can sneak some buildings into. But all in all, I think that looks quite cute. You've got some bigger buildings, some smaller ones, and it's just trying to find ways to make things look interesting, because I find the grid stuff really boring. Now, whilst some of that's filling in, what I want to do is figure out what we're going to do here. So this is our city hall. We've got some upgrades, which we might as well just bunk those on, because that's going to help with some of these things. We've got high skilled labour. Let's just check our education. Got issues with elementary school. We haven't got enough elementary school access. And again, we need to probably creep one in. Let's just have a little look. Where can we creep one in? Probably over there. We'll do that for now. We can come back and fix that, but at least that's going to help with our school system, prevent some bottlenecking. Yeah, there we go. Everybody's got access, apart from the industry over there, but I don't know why I put school near industry. Our college is also on a negative aspect. It's amazing, the university, it says we're not as good as I thought we would be. So we've got an extension which I haven't put on. So that should help. Yeah, there we go. Now that should help with our educational needs, kind of. We actually do need another college, and I'm thinking the college looks really, really good. Obviously the college is here, it supplies this side of town. We haven't got any college on this side. Now, arguably, we could put a college in over here. We could also put a high school in over here because it's a whole area, and we could put a college in with the university. But part of me is thinking, actually, I want this to feel like a city centre where you've got like a little cluster of big buildings. Now, the problem is with our upgrades is at the moment we don't have enough development points. And what we could put down is things like our central bank and some of these like more pretty buildings, welfare office, again, those sorts of things, just to make it look a little bit more regal. So if we look at the college, I think it is in a perfect position to kind of link up with the city hall, because that city hall, if we're being honest, looks a little bit basic when you start putting all these other buildings next to it. So I'm thinking we pop the college next door, do the extension ring ready for the future, and then maybe creep in whether or not we do two. Oh no, I've done that wrong. Let's just go back. Sorry, I've wasted money there. We're going to creep you in. Maybe if we make room for a bit of a path, we can move it. So again, put the extension on. Stop wasting money, Sarah. And whether or not we get away with putting two in with a bit of a path down the middle, because then it kind of looks like it's another political building. If we put a path down the middle, I'm hoping it's going to feel... Oh, it's not a big enough path. Alley would work. We will move you along one. There we go. Oh, it's too much room. Damn it! Move you back. Unless we put some trees and stuff, we might very well put trees. Oh, my money's absolutely deteriorated there. There we go. Now you're probably looking at it going, it's made the city hall look even smaller. Whether or not we put it behind the city hall, so you've got like the old building and then a more regal one next to it. There we go. Last time I'm moving it, it's staying there. Actually, I like the little path extension. It gives us room to put some trees in. I know I've wasted a ton of money and that's on me. So let's marry up the trees. Now we haven't got big enough space for that tree to go in there. What I'm probably going to do, once we actually get more money, is pop another college on the other side, which is wasteful, I know, but it will make it look a little bit more like it's supposed to be there. That's my thought process anyway. But at the moment we're okay, and that's fine. And actually there's no harm in having another college. So what we will do now is rezone in some commercial all around here. And then we need to think about, yeah, continuing to dot in more room for things like our offices, because we have so much demand for offices. Now I appreciate this probably looks a little bit funny now that we've got this low rise office space, so I'm going to just creep in a little tiny bit of some of these smaller high-rise ones and just see how that grows in. We've got this area here that's now fully grown in with the medium density housing with a couple of offices next to our college, and that looks quite good, doesn't it? Okie dokie. So just thinking about this area and making Autumn Meadows, which is what it's currently called. Let me know if you've got another idea. I want this to feel quite opulent, so forcing in some parks. If we go to our bigger city parks, we've got these plazas. And we've upgraded to Huge City, which just means they've given us a lump sum of money, which I can't complain about. I need money. I keep wasting it on stupid things. So we've got the tree-lined bits there. I almost wish you could put in some water, but I don't think at the moment there's an ability to drop in water around here, which is a real shame. I think that would look really, really good. I think that looks quite nice, it's quite pretty, and we will marry up, as annoying as it probably might be, the college on the other side. There we go. Look at that. That looks better, doesn't it? Ignore the background, but I would say that looks a lot more opulent. Ignore the not straight line trees, but what can we do when we haven't got a straight line? And look at that. Oh, it's all starting to come together, I think. All starting to come together. So I think, oh, and that's looking better as well. Some slightly high-rise buildings, but nothing too much. And it's just getting things dotted about a little bit, so it's not too crazy. And what we'll do is start to build up around the area of our city centre, as it were. So looking at our development points before we finish, we've got 14 points. Now I want to buy the pumping station because we will have a water issue. So that means we've only got 6 points left. And at the moment, the next thing that I'm going to look at buying is the central bank, so we can start to fill out our city centre. I don't know why, I almost want it to look like a bit like you know, Buckingham Palace, that kind of vibes, where it's a little bit opulent, spread out, and then amongst the hustle and bustle. So it's literally, this bit was where all the royals and the wealthy lived, and then everything else has been slowly sold off and built up. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So, oh, that looks better as well, just dotting in a couple of bigger buildings. Oh, it's good, it's good. So that's where we'll leave today's episode. Next time we come back, we will look at the water system and we'll look at expanding this out and putting in some more high-rise, really meeting that demand for the city, and hopefully building up some money so that we can actually finish off our university district, which is still somewhat sparse. So that's where we will leave today's episode. I hope you have a good rest of your day and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.